Everybody knows him. He's the historian of the Saskatchewan Roughrider, Rob Vanstone. It's been a while since you and I have chatted, Rob. You're not standing outside. That's an office, right? Don't please.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the alumni lounge at Mosaic Stadium.
So you totally could have lied to me and said, no, I'm hanging out outside here. I like doing these hits outside.
There's a school of thought where just put him outside and let him freeze. So we do get those suggestions every now and then. So
hey, not Rider news, but CFL news, pretty interesting. Cody Fajardo. I was really thinking that was the landing spot, and then the more I thought about it, I'm like, no, because they gotta let Trey be Trey and have his ups and downs. Now you got this experience back up there. What do you think about the trade? If people are just tuning in, it's Cody Fajardo to Edmonton. McLeod Bethel Thompson is going to Montreal. What do you think, Rob?
I love a trade like that because both players are proven commodities, as opposed to making a trade for like a future draft pick or future considerations or an unproven player. In this case, I think there's a pretty good book on both players. They're both, Cody will turn 33 on March 29th. I remember that because my birthday is March 30th, and McLeod Bethel Thompson is mid 30ish. So I think new surroundings will benefit both of them. And, McLeod Bethel Thompson quietly put up some really nice numbers last year. And I don't think he necessarily got as much credit or has received as much credit as he's deserved for being just a really good CFL quarterback. And I hope Cody gets a chance in Edmonton to show that he's the player that Montreal fans saw for a lot of his duration there, and Rider fans saw for a lot of his time here as well.
That's what's your take on that? Are they going to be calling for Cody early and probably often? With Trey, young guy, kind of want him to get some callus, let him play, but now you got this experience back up there. Like, how do you think that juggling is going to go?
I think it'll go okay. Edmonton, for some reason, has for a long time escaped the quarterback controversies that seem to rage in other areas. I remember when growing up in Edmonton had Tom Wilkinson and Bruce Lemmerman, and they were pretty much interchangeable a lot of the time. And it really didn't become, pro Wilkinson, pro Bruce Lemmerman. They had, Damon Allen and Matt Dunnigan, and they got through that pretty well. Warren Moon and Tom Wilkinson. They won a Grey Cup in 2005, and Ricky Ray was a starting quarterback, but Jason Moss came in time after time and made some huge contributions, especially in the playoffs, coming off the bench. But it never became. It's like the roles seem to just be accepted in Edmonton traditionally, but. I should mention that was before social media went crazy.
Yeah.
Different game now. I remember a dinner with doubles, and it was a really good point where, it was raised that, Darian was the Riders' first quarterback of the social media era, and the first big time quarterback of that era. And that he basically had a lot on his shoulders that a lot of other Rider quarterbacks haven't. So I'm citing some history in Edmonton, but that's all pre-social media, which tends to make the discussion a little bit, it's not just coffee row anymore or letters to the editor, right?
Yeah. Trevor Harris is back. Was there ever a doubt in your mind? And what do you think about his deal?
I mean, whatever terms you can arrive at to re-sign an all-star quarterback, why wouldn't you? I mean, honestly, to me, I mean, Trevor said it was a no-brainer. I think it was approached that way by Rider management as well. And what reason was there not to re-sign Trevor Harris? People mention his age. Well, you got to remember that by the time he was 29 years old, he'd only thrown 94 passes in the Canadian Football League. So it's a different kind of odometer than as far as Trevor Harris and some other quarterbacks. And there have been injuries the past couple of seasons, but the injuries didn't prevent Trevor Harris from becoming the all-star quarterback in the West Division this year. And the type of injuries he sustained, they weren't the type that you would normally attribute to age, like kind of nagging injuries like hamstrings and groin injuries. It was somebody basically rolling up on and somebody falling on him. And that could happen just as easily to a 25-year-old as it can to a quarterback in his 30s. So I think that it's sort of the narrative there isn't, I think, entirely fair. I think what you have to look at is his body of work over the course of last season, and he was a huge contributor to this team, and I think it was an easy decision to re-sign him.
Yeah, a good point about the injury. You forgot, the old man injuries like we have, like gout. I
got gout. Allopurinol is one of the great medications of all time.
It's it is. These young guys don't get it. Colchicine, the Colchicine pills. That's the first thing I pack, even before a passport. But we digress.
We can finish. We can fill the entire rest of the segment with a detailed discussion about uric acid and crystallization in the big toe. It really hurts.
Oh, yeah, just praying I don't get it in the elbow and knee like my brother. No, but Noah's there today. He signs. We just had him on. If you're just joining us, are the dominoes going to start to fall here? Do you think, with the Harris and just because we got to remember, like Mark Mueller, these guys now they got the runway now, right? Last year was year one. Do you think that we're going to start seeing? I know I'm not asking for insider baseball here or anything. A lot of those dominoes fall, and a lot of the guys signing here.
I think you have to get the biggie done as much as anything to determine how much salary cap room you have, and also I think part of the dynamic is how much salary cap room do the Roughriders have in 2024 that they could use to pay signing bonuses that to pretty much fill up their cap wise, or how much do they have to wait to 2025? The year starts anew, and then there's money freed up cap-wise. So I think that might influence the discussion a bit, is just how much of a signing bonus can you wedge in to the 2024 accounting. But, you look at baseball, once Juan Soto signs, then you start seeing a lot of action elsewhere. You take a look at the Roughriders as a microcosm of that, and once you've got the quarterback in place, then you can address everything else, but the elephant in the room is always the quarterback, and you've got to address that, and that was done rather emphatically and efficiently.
Is there anything else league-wise, free agents that maybe you're surprised that haven't signed yet, or does?
Not especially. I mean, there's so much time now between now and the free agent window in early February, and sometimes it just comes down to basic accounting. We're still not even a month past the Grey Cup. So we are a month and a day past the Grey Cup. So there's some things to sort out, but a lot of it got tied up. People were wondering, is Trey Ford going to become a free agent? No, he resigns with Edmonton. What about Davis Alexander? He resigns with Montreal. So a lot of those pieces that people were talking about as prospective free agents have ended up staying where they are, at least in terms of the quarterbacking position. But I think that's the priority everywhere, is get the quarterbacking situation solidified. That's happened in Montreal today. That's happened in Edmonton today.
Can we shift to hockey quick? Do you got a couple minutes for hockey?
Sure. Yeah, go Jets.
What
San Jose tonight. So
what do you think about the World Junior? Like, pretty good for Saski hockey, where we got the 3 Saskatoon boys on, and Tanner Howe from Prince Albert. Like, you've covered hockey your whole life. I'm 27 years in the biz-ish. I don't remember us ever having, and I don't remember us ever having even close to 4 Saski players on that team.
Yeah, it's a pretty good representation, and I think it's a pretty good team. The thing that really told me something about this World Junior team is when Andrew Crystal was one of the final cuts. He's a member of the Kelowna Rockets, and just a tremendous player, close friend of Connor Bedard, former teammate of Connor Bedard's in minor hockey, in AAA hockey in the Vancouver area. And Andrew Crystal is such a terrific player. And he didn't make that team, which tells you the type of team that is, because I thought he was just a shoo-in given his talent. So I think that's a good sign in terms of the caliber of that team. Now, you got to remember, I mean, Connor Bedard is still eligible to play in the tournament. Like there's some elite teenagers who aren't in there. But I think every team has. Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine? So I remember I covered the World Juniors in Red Deer in 94, turning 1995 during the NHL lockout. My goodness, that was something. That was just at best on best and no asterisks, and what a tournament that was.
That's the gold medal where they all have the white cowboy hats, don't they? And they're all seller. Who was all on? Is that Jason Allison?
Jason Allison, the team. Jeff Friesen was on that team. Jamie Storr was one of the goaltenders. Man, we're going back. Alexander Daig, Ryan Smith.
They were loaded.
Man, that was a terrific tournament.
They were loaded. And hey, we got Al Murray, right, doing the scouting for this, and Pete Anholt heading up this team. So Sasky is well represented. It's the only thing, there's a lot nervous times for Sasky as well, because if we don't win, then they're going to be like, blame it on Sask.
Blame it on the sports cage. They'll just come back at you for raising the specter of blaming it on Saskatchewan. Now you've ignited that fuse.
Oh well, I've been put in worse situations. You're ready? Happy holidays. I don't know. Are you ready? Like, do you just go shopping at the Rider store? Does that just cover everything off?
Actually, the various pet stores in the city, along with the Rider store. I mean, I pretty much just buy a new Rider T-shirt every 2 weeks. Better than doing laundry. And my wife and I have discussed Christmas at length this year, and we're probably not going to exchange presents with each other, but Candy is going to get bully sticks and bones and toys and more bones. She loves the bacon and cheese flavored bone. So the dog's gonna have a mountainous supply of Christmas presents, and we'll just sitting there, enabling her and catering to her every need and whim.
And you just hang out in your Rider gear and order Western pizza. Perfect.
And we'll put the Rider scarf on Candy and really live it up big.
Yeah. So. Thanks so much, Rob. All the best this holidays. Safe travels if you're traveling, all that stuff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll be traveling up and down the Louvain, so wish me luck with that one. A lot of navigating to be done.
Well, I just saw a snowfall warning, so better get home.
Uh-oh. Thanks for the heads up. Merry Christmas, Barney. Thanks for your time. Take care.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Rob. Rob Vanstone,